Hey everyone, Eric here. Just wanted to give you my 2 cents about the brand new Elysia Alpha Compressor V2 by Brainworks/Plugin Alliance. So, I've been using the Elysia Alpha Mastering Compressor by Brainworks for a long time. It's on almost every single session that I do. It's a very dated plugin. It's very old. The UI is not resizable. The buttons, it's a little bit hard to tell whether the buttons are on or off, but it sounds great and it works really, really well. At a ratio of 1.5 to 1, the compression sounds really, really natural. Obviously, as per my last video about this, they released the version 2 recently, and this has a bunch of upgrades, including an updated GUI, resizable GUI. The buttons look, it's easier to tell whether stuff is on or not. Everything's a little bit brighter, and they have this bottom rack here, which is a bunch of plugin only features. They've got their TMT, which I love. They have some monitoring. This is like a sidechain audition. This is a delta. They've got this, I don't know, soft clip parameter link, and then they have a sidechain link for the compression here, and then importantly, this is a gain reduction limit. So this is like the max gain reduction that the plugin will have, which is very, very useful. A headroom, and then a transformer drive, and then the stereo imaging thing, which I never touch. I never ever use this. And then a master output with an automatic gain compensation. All of these features are brand new to the plugin, brand new to the compressor, and are plugin only. So you won't find them in the hardware, but yeah, everything above this row, which is the main plugin, is from the hardware and from the original plugin. To my ears, they sound quite identical, like the version 1 and version 2 of the plugin. The only reason really I upgraded this and paid, what was it, $19.99 US for the upgrade, is because of this TMT thing right here. I love it. It's the whatever tolerance, whatever modeling technology, I don't know, whatever it stands for. But you can see here, mid is channel number 1, side is number 2. And the reason I love this so much is that it can, if you have it in mid-side mode, it can widen the stereo image very, very subtly, but in a much more natural way. Channels 1 and 2, to my knowledge, the only difference between all these channels is that the input signal is slightly, the level is slightly different. But that's enough, There's a very, very subtle under the hood kind of difference going on between 1 and 2. And if you set this to mid-side, as I said, you can have even more difference between the mid and the side channel. So that's the main reason I upgraded before I even bought it. But since then, I've come to really, really love this gain reduction feature. You can just kind of set it to, say, I normally set it to 4 dB because that's the maximum gain reduction I want from this compressor on my mix bus. You just set it to 4 dB, for example, or 3, or whatever you want it to set it to. And then you can not worry about setting your threshold. Just have the threshold low enough so that it's compressing at the range that you want, at the loudest part of the song. You don't have to worry about anything else. So that's what I love so much about it. The monitoring is also kind of useful. You can hear where you're setting your sidechain filter. I just leave it at the default, which is what, 12 o'clock, 310 hertz. That's crazy for a sidechain filter, but I just set it there, and I just set it in high pass mode. So it's a very steep high pass filter at 310 hertz, and the ambience is, as I said, it's a delta. It's sometimes helpful to hear what the plugin is doing, but at the same time, like you can't really go wrong with a plugin like this on your mix bus if you have all the settings, right, dialed in right. I do have one really big complaint though. Are you ready? My complaint is about their newly modeled Ley whatever transformer. So they made a big thing about this in their marketing, how they've upgraded their physical modeling technology, and they have redone the whole thing from scratch, remodeled the whole thing. I don't know why they want to do that, like whether it's for accuracy or whatever, but it includes a new transformer emulation. So previously I've got the plugins here. This is version 1 and this is version 2. Version 1, it's labeled warm, right? That's the button there. Version 2 is labeled transformer. This transformer works a little bit differently. You turn it on, but you also have to kind of turn on this TX drive. So you set the amount of drive into the transformer for the amount of transformer saturation, right? So it's default set to 12 o'clock, which is plus dBu, plus 18 dBu. And it's supposed to give you more realistic transformer drive sound. My biggest complaint about this is that when you have it engaged and you have the TX drive to any setting, so this is zero drive right there. If you have it at any other setting apart from 0, it will output noise. Like it will output noise. So even if you're not playing anything through it, it's outputting noise. But if you are, it's adding a bunch of noise to your signal. This is one of the things I hate most about plugins that want to emulate analog hardware. So yeah, like us producers, we want to have, we want the sound that $50,000 hardware can give us. We want the sound that, some certain pieces of analog hardware can give us, including, the phase shifts of some analog EQ, some added saturation wherever. For example, like an 1176 would have some saturation. We want all that, but we don't want the bad stuff. The bad stuff being the noise, just random low levels of noise. Like we don't want that. That's the bad stuff. The reason why digital kind of exists is in part so we can kind of bypass this noise and not have it. Yeah, I don't know why plugins like this, they for the sake of being realistic, for the sake of sort of emulating everything, they have to emulate the bad stuff as well. This is why I kind of dislike a lot of the universal audio plugins, is because every single UAD plugin known to man will output some of this noise, will model some of this noise. We don't want that stuff, seriously. Let me speak for everyone. It doesn't make your music sound better if there's some noise in it. That's the only kind of thing I don't like about V2. V1, you could have this warm button engaged, and it might not be as realistic a transformer saturation emulation as V2, but at least it didn't output noise that we don't want. Like if I want a noise in my mix, I would just add it myself. Like I don't want my compressor to add noise. So I've tended to just turn it off, which is a shame because it does something quite nice. It adds like a low mid bump, and then it adds some, second and third order harmonics to my signal, which is quite nice. But adding that noise as well, that's just a deal breaker for me. So I don't, I don't have it on, and I just kind of keep the Elysia as a completely clean compressor. If I need compression with that extra warmth, I'll probably just go for V1. Oh, I forgot to let you guys have a look at, you know, the differences in the GUI. So this is kind of what they look like on my screen through the GoPro. As you can see, V1, it does look quite dated. You can't resize the GUI. And it's hard to tell. Sometimes it's hard to tell whether the buttons are on and off, you know, like. So it kind of, you know, when you click this button, it kind of looks like that's depressed, but that's actually off. Whereas here, like it's a lot clearer because this lights up a lot brighter than it does up here. But anyway, that's how they look. That's my 2 cents on the Elysia Alpha Master Compressor version 2. Like, yeah, as I said, almost perfect mastering compressor, except for that added noise emulation, which, you know, who wants that? Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Catch you next time. See you then.